Hello, friends. Trevon Diggs has a goal in mind that he told our very own Clarence Hill. Let's talk Trevon. Kaiir Elam fitting right in and looking good, according to our Joe Hoyt, who we'll talk to, and George Pickens. How's that going? Wow, what a full show. And it starts, meow. What's up, everybody? Welcome into the DLLS Cowboys podcast, where we are debating who was the first to chat.
Nesto!
Looks like Nesto.
Looks like Nesto.
That's what it looks like. Welcome in, everybody. We got a lot of Cowboy things to get to today. I just want you guys to know that I'm dedicating my performance today. I haven't checked birthdays yet, but to a good listener, man, that I talked to yesterday named Carter. That's a fan of the show. I'd like to dedicate my performance today to our friend Carter. Okay.
Let's go, Carter.
Carter.
My name is Jeff. I'm seated next to former Cowboy wide receiver Jesse Holly.
Oh, Jesse Holly went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
Next to him is the great and powerful, greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys, Clarence Hill.
If you want to win, put Chill in.
Ooh, I don't know.
That's my man over there, boy. That's my man. It's Chill's back. Shout out to those Schulenburg Shorthorns, the Super Esther Schulenburg Shorthorns, my hometown. I went from a Shorthorn to a Longhorn. I always a horn, or horny when I'm one of them.
What?
I put it out there on the tee for y'all. Y'all didn't take it, so I just took it.
Well, I was busy seeing who else I'm dedicating today's
I
show
was going
to.
to say a blowhorn, but you went with the other one. I was like, whatever.
Blow hard? What you gonna say?
Blowhorn.
Is it divisive or controversial if I dedicate today's show to George H.W. Bush?
Do what you want.
Okay.
That's on your ledger.
All right.
Why would we do that, though?
But also to Kendra Wilkinson. I think she was the one that was married to the one tight end who had the thing come out about
Wasn't she
stepping out with a different person.
Wasn't she with Hugh Hefner?
Oh, she was with Hugh Hefner. And then Hank Baskett. Yeah, Hank
the
Baskett.
receiver.
Yeah.
From Philadelphia, right?
Basket. Yes. Anyway, I hope Jeff doesn't forget the bit for the day he promised. Forgot the bit for today that I promised.
You got a bit?
Oh, everything Clarence says.
Oh, yeah.
Been doing it for 30 years. Ain't win no Super. How's it go?
Roland, don't do that, Roland. Don't do that.
Yeah. So anyway, Clarence, you caught up with Trevon Diggs yesterday, and what a wonderful place to start the show today, huh? Huh? How is
a wonderful place to
Does he
start the
hate
show.
Britt Brown? Is he ready today? What are we doing?
Shout out to the homie Britt.
You know, Diggs has been gone. He's not. This first time he's been back. You know, since the end of the season, since he had some type of graft to from his knee injury. You know, it's
The new microfracture, by the way, because the old microfracture.
You don't want to call it a microfracture.
No, because it's not. Because one of us might have seen the Cowboys ortho yesterday, and he was like, "Oh, you had micro 3 times, huh?" And he was like, "Yeah, back in the day, there were some doctors who thought no matter what happened, if there was something wrong in terms of cartilage, just drill a hole in his effing leg." And I was like, "Yeah, that's what they did to me 3 times." Like, yeah, it's not really the best thing to do. We do it a little different these days. But anyway, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
That's what they did. What's the defensive end? Spencer.
Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony Spencer.
Ruined his
Yeah.
career.
Microfracture used to be a very common thing. Turns out you're doing a lot of trauma to your everything in the hopes of something that probably won't pay off great.
No.
What are you gonna do?
Anyway, I talked to Diggs. He hadn't talked to the media, but he was at his locker, so that means you're available to talk. He don't normally sit at his locker. And I went up to talk to this, rehab. We talked about why he's in Miami. Number one, he's in Miami because the doctors that he's in Miami with got Stephon back on the field in 6 months from ACL. Remember, Stephon tore his ACL in October.
Stephon's type A, though.
And he's doing everything in minicamp now. They're not, being cautious with him. He's on the boat passing out those pink baggies. When they're on the boat,
But he earned that right through hard work.
Passing out those pink baggies, he's running and cutting like nobody's business. 6 months after ACL, which is huge. And Diggs certainly he's with them. He's comfortable with them. He said he has no problem with Britt Brown. Certainly he heard loud and clear what Jerry said about him.
What did Jerry say?
Talked about his not attacking rehab, which is why he got hurt again.
I'm excited for the second.
He said that's why he's put out these videos.
Yeah, he's got a second one coming.
He said that's why I put these videos out, so people can see me working. Seriously.
Yeah, he put out the first one, which was his rehab from not this thing, but the last one.
Yeah.
And then apparently there's going to be another one about this rehab.
Right.
Just to show people I work.
But, the main thing, two things. He said his goal is to be back for the season open. That's aggressive.
Did he say, how do you say it? Like, that is my goal? Or like,
I'm doing everything I can.
I'm going to be out there.
I'm doing everything I can to be back for the season opener.
That's pretty half-ass.
I'm doing everything I can to be back. That's his focus. That's his focus, to be back for the season opener.
I was hoping it was going to be sit down, grab your popcorn, and watch because your boy's going to be out there week 1. That's what I was looking for.
But he said he's doing everything he can to be back, and he feels good. I can't let nothing go, right?
What can you not?
There's been this controversy about me talking about ACL repair, and I don't know nothing about ACL repair. And,
you don't? I've been through
that Revel and everybody else is going to be ready to go and 100% and be able to play their best as soon as they get cleared by the doctors, right?
You've been doing a little hating, yeah.
Clearly, I don't like Revel because I said he may not be at his confident best week 1.
Right, we all agree with that.
Not everybody.
That he hates Revel.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't hate Revel. And Diggs, we're just in conversation. He said, he thinks this recovery is easier than ACL recovery.
ACL's not fun.
Jesse,
did you never tear an ACL?
Never.
Boy,
I have, yeah.
You have? Me and you, buddy.
Yes, bro. I got to give you. That's old school. I got to give you the fist bump.
Okay.
Anyway,
well.
But Raheem Mostert had it, and he said he returned to play. And Raheem Mostert actually did his graft just like with Dan Cooper did his graft, just like he did Diggs' graft. But he said this surgery is not as easier. Obviously, it's still a big rehab, than ACL. And he said ACL takes a year, possibly 2 years, to be really confident.
I did it in 3.5
back.
months.
You did what?
I did it in 3.5 months. And I did in rehab.
Yeah.
It's also why I need a knee replacement.
So if you were wondering which one of us saw Dr. Cooper yesterday, you now have your answer.
Yes.
He told me he can help me.
But
with a knee replacement.
But it's similar to Javonte. We talked to Javonte Williams earlier, and he said that, man, 2 years later, I'm finally confident again. And it's a while. So people don't understand. You can be cleared to be healthy. You can be cleared and healed, but that doesn't mean you're at your confident best because you have to want to do things instinctively and run and cut and do things and have confidence on that foot, which is why a lot of times you have other soft tissue injuries in the other leg because you're overcompensating mentally.
Yeah.
So again, Diggs feels good. He has no problem with Britt Brown. He's been rehabbing with Britt Brown this week. And his goal is to be back week 1.
That would be awesome for the team if he was. I like Clarence's phrase, his confident best. If he was his confident best in week 1, that'd be big for the Cowboys. Because I think, aren't we all gearing up for the fact that Revel?
Yeah, he will be on the field, but are you at your confident best?
Yeah, I feel like we're all going through this offseason assuming Diggs absolutely not. And Revel we'll see.
Are we saying that Diggs is going to be on the field? Like, do you believe that he's going to be on the field week 1?
I don't know if the Cowboys believe that. And I can only go, but that's his goal. How about that? Okay. That's his goal. That's his target.
I got goals.
Again, it's a big year for him because, again, we all believe that he won't be here next year.
Right.
The Cowboys can walk away after the season. He's not played a full season since he signed that contract.
Yeah.
And then if you're, and the key thing is he's most likely going to start the training camp on PUP. If he starts the season on PUP, which is physically unable to perform list, he'll have to miss the first 4 games.
Right.
Period.
Which I'm kind of expecting. So it's fun to hear that even if it's just that's my goal, that doesn't mean that I think that's going to happen. And plus, it's not even up to him. Yeah. Like the team could also be like, "Yeah, you're not ready."
Does he? So after OTAs, after minicamp is over, does he plan to go back to Miami during this time period?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure. You go back to his guys.
Do you guys think that Roland is onto something? He said, I think Jerry's going to sign Micah in mid-July to get some press during the dead period because we do have a dead period coming for about a month.
All right before the start of training camp. I think it's going to get done. I think one thing I never got
in.
to address with you about Micah the other day, and you guys can talk about it. I don't know if we really addressed it on the show. When Micah said he liked rushing from the left side rather than the right side because of, and I asked him, he said because it's a dominant hand. You would think he's right-handed, the dominant hand would be rushing from the right side, but he prefers to rush from the left side. And we actually looked at it, and his pass rush win rate, throughout his career, has actually been better from the left side than right by 4 percentage points or something like that.
Right tackles usually aren't as good as left tackles.
I mean, I didn't want to say it because people say,
yeah.
Right tackles usually aren't as good as left tackles.
It's just something he brought it up. He volunteered it up, so he made it a talking point.
Yeah, this is kind of sometimes, you know how people's like something like how Jerry does it, right?
Yeah.
Like you can go and interview Jerry, and no matter what question you ask him, he's coming in with what he wants to say.
Yeah.
And so you can ask him, man, I heard the elephant's getting stripes. And he'll be like, well, I'll tell you this.
That left guard
that left guard, left tackle's gonna be all right. You're like,
and it came up organically because he was talking about Ezraku and and the young guys, and I want them to be on me, and how, the leadership stuff, and how he's bonding with the young guys, and he said he was talking to Ezraku, and he actually told Ezraku, and we asked Ezraku, but he said, I like the fact that you like playing the right side, so I can play the left side. So he was talking a lot. And that's how it came out. I'm like, oh, why you like to play on the left side? Yeah. Right, the right side.
And I mean, you can have side preferences. We were actually talking before the show about former pass catcher who had a big time preference for which way he wanted to be running, catching the ball. And I think that's probably natural. And it may come off of right or left-handed in other sports that you played. But I would always prefer to go left to right as a receiver. So I bet Micah has a preference. But I wouldn't be surprised if part of that preference was, for most teams, their best offensive lineman is the left tackle. And Mikey could say it, or it should be the team saying it too. I want my best pass rusher going against the guy who can't block him.
Right.
Maybe you think there's value to I'd rather rush because most quarterbacks are right-handed. I'd rather rush from behind him.
Right.
But you can see, I'll let you see Micah coming. Take off running. You can take this sack. We can break this play however we want to break it. I'd rather have him against the worst guy.
And one other note on Micah that he talked. Obviously, again, he's not stressed. He knows when he ever gets paid, which he told exclusively to the DLLS.
Exclusive.
That he's going to be the highest paid non-quarterback. So he's not stressed about that. He and Jerry have had a meeting of the minds. Jerry has not called the agent. But whether he's going to be on the field at training camp or not depends on whether he has a deal. But what we do know, he already has his house in Oxnard. He will be in Oxnard. He has a house in Oxnard.
I thought they all stayed together at the complex.
He has a house in Oxnard. Sometimes you want to be.
Why are we letting players be special? I thought everybody stayed on campus.
He can stay on campus, but he can still go and hang out at the house during his off time.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they have other hotel rooms for their guests. They do have guests, and they do have people that come up and visit. And they do have secure other rooms in other parts of the city for their guests.
Okay, so we're not taking this season seriously.
I know when you went to Portugal, you didn't really have any guests because you was not trying to do all of that guest stuff.
That's correct.
But sometimes guys have guests.
You have guests in Atlanta?
Sir, we're talking about Micah. Oh. Anyway, he said
as a guy who's tried to go into the complex as a guest once.
Yeah,
I would have thought that the players would have different pass type things that would let a guest in. You got to go out.
You want to be out. There's too many noses out there.
Oh, okay.
Too many eyes in the complex now. Anyway, the bottom line is, whether it's for his family, whatever else, his moms come out there, his kids come out there, he has a house, and he will be at his house.
Lovely young lady
He won't be in Cabo like Zeke. He won't be in Miami like CD was. He said he's going to be out there in camp.
Oh, so he's saying, like, if I have to hold out, I'll be at the crib in Oxnard.
Yeah.
So when they call me, I can just come down the street.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's what I'm getting out of.
I wouldn't be holding in where I'm supposed to be. Right. I'll be out there.
I'll be out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oxnard.
That works for me, Mike. I want you to know. I know you were wondering. I'm fine with that. That sounds good to me. Coming up next on the DLLS podcast, we got a little update on how George Pickens is fitting in, and we'll also talk to Joe Hoyt from the Star here in a little bit about Kaiir Elam. All the things are coming up. Hit that like button or else. The number's not high enough. That's all next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
You ever have that moment where, you're reaching for your glasses and you're like, man, where did I have them? What did I put them? You thought that you, did I leave them at the crib? Did I leave them on top of the car? Where did I? if you had a pair of Shady Rays.
I love my Shady Rays in Atlanta.
Damn it, Clarence.
Well, guess what? Perfect example.
I was saying,
Perfect example.
exactly.
Pop left and forgot that old age is getting to him. His glasses in Atlanta. But because they are Shady Rays says, I got your back, Pop. That memory, don't worry about it.
Memory.
All you got to do now is reach back out to us, tell us what kind that you had, and they will send the exact same pair to you free of charge. That is one of the perks of getting a pair of Shady Rays glasses. And today, using the promo code DLLS, you can get a pair of polarized sunglasses for 35% off. Head over to ShadyRays.com and you never have to worry about if I lose them, break them, or just don't like them because they will send you a new pair hassle-free. ShadyRays.com, use the promo code DLLS and get 35% off a pair of polarized glasses.
If you guys have ever wanted to step inside of a real club pop, I'd like to invite you to come with us to Vegas.
Yes, sir.
We are going to Vegas, baby. The Cowboys are playing the Raiders on November 17th.
Vegas.
So we're going to go out to Vegas. We're going to go out there. We're going to do our pregame and our postgame from out there. And we want to encourage you to come on out with our friends at True Fan Travel and get the ultimate fan experience. We're taking over the Strip. We're going to have a wonderful weekend, and you got to be there. Join us as the Cowboys whoop up on the Raiders. It's an all-inclusive trip that includes a 3-night stay at a luxury Vegas resort. You also get game tickets, of course, VIP parties, exclusive events with the DLLS crew. That's us and fellow diehard fans and so much more. So come on with us. Let's go to Vegas. Let's have a time. Let's have some snacks, kick back, maybe step inside one of them sports books. I don't know. But see how we do Vegas. Book now at truefantravel.com. It's the DLLS Cowboys podcast, and we are checking in with George Pickens, the biggest addition of the Cowboys offseason, according to me, according to everybody, right? The biggest offseason addition is George Pickens. Joe said that he had a big touchdown yesterday, and we finally get to talk to George. Did we get to talk to George?
Yeah, George talked yesterday.
Okay, did he say anything that made you...
No.
Oh, God.
No. The good news is I've tried to say this in many ways. George is we can only judge George by what he does here, really. And how he interacts with us, how he interacts with his teammates. We know the narrative, we know the stories from Pittsburgh. But since he's been here, he's proved to be a coachable player. And you want to be able to be a coachable player. He's proven that he can listen to somebody. Can you can you listen to somebody? Can you listen to somebody? Will you sit down and listen to somebody? Clearly, George is listening to somebody because he has been vanilla toast. Plain Jane in his interviews. And it was funny because I was talking to Diggs yesterday, and George was doing his interview with the media, and I said, "How was George?" "We got nothing. He was boring. We got nothing.
Yeah.
He didn't say nothing."
Yeah.
You know why he ain't say nothing? Because he ain't trying to give you nothing. They told him to be vanilla. Since he's been here, I've talked about this. I love being here. It's right. I love the environment. I really like my time in Pittsburgh. I love being in Dallas. I love being around Dak. I'm great with CD. That's all he's saying. Ask him about speed. Oh, he has a great speed. His team has a lot of speed. I love being around a team with speed. Everybody, he's saying all the right things. And I'm saying give him credit for that. Now, again, to me, your true colors will come out if you that person, right? I think we've learned over the weekend that former Cowboys' true colors have came out.
Over the weekend.
Greg Hardy,
What he do?
Pac-Man Jones,
What he do?
Boss Man Fat.
I know what he did.
All got arrested.
Damn, really?
All of them.
All of them?
All of them. All of them.
Your true colors will come
Damn.
out, okay?
Y'all need therapy.
And I remember Boss Man Fat, and everybody, why you drafted? Well, he's a hard worker. I know he smoked all that weed and did all this stuff. He's a hard worker.
Why you drafted
and
Boss Man Fat?
he's gonna get a second chance. He's gonna do this right here. Then he has to drive by shooting, but
He didn't do it,
he was in the car.
Just a man wearing his chain happened to be in the SUV with whoever did it.
And he didn't come and talk to the police. He had to make him talk to the police or face jail time.
Can I give advice to the people real quick? Just one piece of advice to the people?
Yes.
If you have something that you wear that is very specific to you, don't wear it when someone's going to get shot. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
When you're committing a crime.
He had his the vibes chain on.
How about stealing any kind of crime? When you do something dirty, don't wear it.
Don't wear identifying things.
And
don't do crime.
So
I think that's it.
Unless it's against a giant company that has insurance.
So the Cowboys didn't cut him, right? Kept him on the team for a couple more years. And all you heard was about he works hard. He's a different guy, and all that, which is why I take what they say about players who are on the team with a grain of salt, and we know they've been blowing everybody
up.
Don't
worry, I'll help you.
We've been, they've been glazing everybody.
Yep,
glazing them up.
Yep, sure.
Shotty's had no negative things about to say about anybody. I don't care if they never peed a drop in the league. They're having the greatest officer in the league.
Which is why I know my guy Tyler Guyton's going to be a beast. Nobody else has to say it. He said, I'll say it. So I was bad.
They said all this great stuff. John Fossil, everybody's like, oh, yeah, Bossman Fat's fine. Bossman Fat's still Bossman Fat.
The George Pickens things leads me, John, to the Wendy's Frosty Take. It's my Wendy's Frosty Take. Which I don't know if you guys knew this, but Wendy's has put a twist on a classic with all new frosty flavors. Find your new favorite flavor and clock in for a sweet treat time anytime, including midnight or later. A refresh on a classic, got to be Wendy's. At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location. My frosty take of the day.
Okay.
And frosty can go either way. It can be a bad take or a good take, however you feel.
I'm going to go good take.
Okay.
That frosty good.
My frosty take of the day, George Pickens is in his Kaiir Elam year. It's June. I can believe whatever I want.
What year? He going to send out a video?
What do you mean he's in his Kaiir?
His Kaiir Elam year. When the Mavericks acquired Kaiir Elam, Kaiir Elam had talked his way or tweeted his way or something his way out of everywhere he'd ever been.
Right.
And it was a situation. And it was the Mavericks. Have acquired a problem. Like he's going to say something stupid. He's going to do something stupid. He's going to whatever.
Sound like you want Nico to be the GM.
And Kaiir Elam, before Nico was here.
No. Nico brought Kyrie.
Nico brought Kyrie?
Yes, he did.
I didn't think he was here yet.
Relationship from Nike, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm a big Nico guy.
Okay.
I think you reshaped this whole organization in
Kyrie,
his image.
AD, that's Nico guys.
I think you trade Cooper Flagg for some American guy that also played AAU growing up, which I'm sure Cooper did too, so he's probably fine. But I want to trade him for an aging, really good defender. That's what I'm looking for. But George Pickens has the opportunity to go somewhere where he's going to be happy, can show some growth, become a more mature person. And while everybody in Pittsburgh is going to look at him one way, in Dallas, we will look at him as, how do these idiots not love this dude? That's my frosty take.
Watching practice yesterday, first opening session of 11 on 11, first pass CD, second pass to Pickens. Those were choices, okay?
Because if you didn't throw the second one to Pickens, he'd have been like,
those were choices, though. He went because I read the defense and I went through the breach and that was the open guy. No, first read.
Did you do
bam.
Did you do that again?
He did it again.
Bam. I mean, I'm just saying, make your guy happy too now.
Well, it's supposed to be 1-2.
1-2, now back to one.
It's gonna be for George Pickens, kudos to him, man. Like kudos to him because so far, because
I say so far.
That's what life is about, right? If I get a second chance, which a lot of times in this league you don't always necessarily get a second chance, but if he's gonna get a second chance, then make the best of it. At least until you get your paper, and then
from someone else, so we can get a comp pick.
And then
Pickens gonna blow up, and we're gonna watch him walk.
But right now, it's like everything else that's happening in the OTAs in minicamp is that, everyone is saying the right thing because there is nothing wrong to say.
No.
There's nothing wrong to say. Like there's nothing that could possibly go on that can make you upset in OTAs and minicamp.
How great would it be for our show, though? If, like yesterday, after their little OTA fake practice, or minicamp fake practice, if somebody went up to Pickens like, hey, tell me about the day. He's like, man, he threw the first two to CD. I don't want to be. I don't even want to be here. I don't even want to be here.
Or he could have ripped his experience in Pittsburgh. There are things you can say.
Yeah, but
that will come across.
But I think, and I think we all believe that
can't throw for.
When he left Pittsburgh, there was a conversation between he and his people, right? Like whether that's David Together, whoever. And they were saying, man, listen, we got a fresh start. We're trying to get the bag. Here is our blueprint on what we're going to say, how we're going to handle this thing. Like you said, when we get to the season, when things may not go your way, and it's nothing. If he threw 10 passes to CeeDee Lamb in minicamp, doesn't matter. No one's watching. No one's keeping stats. But there are going to be games, and we've seen it, where they might spam CeeDee Lamb. It might be, hey, we're going to CeeDee Lamb 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times in a row.
I spam Jalen Tolbert. Have CD and Pickens lose their mind.
Dak don't want that stress on his head. He don't want that stress on his head. He don't want Pickens and CD mad at him because he's
Ferg got 13 catches for 73 yards.
Might happen. That might happen.
Getting back to what you said, no bad thing to say. Shamar Stewart in Cincinnati, they have assigned him, and he ripped the organization.
Yeah, because they're putting bad things in his contract.
I understand
so there
that.
is something bad to say about that.
I know, but Micah or Diggs, they could say things bad about the organization. They don't have their Diggs, or Diggs could say something bad about Jerry, how he ripped him. I mean, you can choose to say, you can choose not to say nothing.
No,
I'm saying
right,
you can choose not to say nothing.
Right now,
because the things
Diggs isn't in a position to be talking foul towards anybody. Micah is playing. He's playing the game. He's playing the Jerry game of I'm just going to keep everything all peachy cream. I know my bread is coming no matter what. So I think the whole Cincinnati situation is because you're trying to add clauses into my contract that ain't never been in nobody else's contract before. That you trying to like you.
That's why I never sacked the quarterback, and we picked you anyway.
Right.
But that's on them. That ain't his fault.
But what I'm saying is he don't have to say nothing. He can let his agent talk. He sat in front of me and chose to put this out because no one knew this. No one knew the exact details.
I hear what you're saying.
He put it out there.
He said, "In my case, I'm 100% right. Yeah. I'm not asking for anything that hadn't been done before. But in the team's case, y'all just want to win an argument instead of winning more games."
Yeah, he don't have to be. He don't have to be that effusive with his opinion. You know what I'm saying? And so the fact that Pickens and these guys are saying the right things, whether you're supposed to do it or not, I think give them credit for that.
You've been giving a whole lot of credit out for people doing what they're supposed to do. Always,
man.
You have, bro.
But supposed to do is subjective. Like Stewart,
a lot of people don't do what they're supposed to do.
It's subjective. It can be what it is. I'm just saying. I've seen it the other way.
Anthony with a great question in the chat. Jeff, is Sky Moore still an option? I was high on Sky Moore coming out of college, and I've always said, and I'll stand by this, if we could get Sky Moore a better coach and a better quarterback, he'd be ready to rock.
Was it? Is it?
Yeah, he's in Kansas City.
It's Kansas City, right?
Yeah. But if we can get him a better quarterback and a better coach, we can get him right back on track.
It's all about systems.
He'd be a great wide receiver 3 over
here. All about systems.
And Roland, he's not the guy you want to tag.
I mean, the tag puts a lot of pressure to act right and do right and go big.
He's not really the guy you want to tag. He will act the fool if you tag.
Nah, not when you got guarantee. That tag got guarantees on it.
Yeah, I mean, he might act the fool until it's time to play,
especially since CD them to run the money up, that tag might be nice.
Oh, it'd be nice. But
Chase and CD and Jefferson run that tag number up, and then, even the other guy of Cincinnati in $29-30 million.
Oh, Higgins. T. Higgins.
Yeah.
That tag might be nice. I go put that tag up. I'm gonna sign the thing the first day. Now it's guaranteed all season. Now I ain't got to show up for nothing because my thing is guaranteed, and ain't no bonus. So you can't take no bonus money away from me. It's straight guaranteed money.
Yeah, straight guaranteed money, but you didn't like what you want is $80 million.
Oh, I agree.
And on the tag, you got to go ball.
Yeah, I'll take that $30 million this year, and then
yes, me too. Yeah. We would.
I'll take that $31 million.
We
and not
would.
worry about that 80 next year.
I get the rest of that 50. I get the rest of that 50 next year.
Yes, you will if you ball.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the rest of it.
I'm gonna take that 30, but I might not be here for OTAs. I might not be here for minicamp.
Yeah, you will have problems before the season. Just before the season.
But I'll show up in time to collect that 30 though.
Mm-hmm. That's what I don't understand, and I really need to hear the Joneses talk about. Is like you traded for George Pickens, and I'm excited about it. I love it. CD has a real buddy, but I hadn't hear anybody say, like, yeah, we want him to play great, and then we want him to be here for a decade. It's just like, yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's a weird plan to give up a third-round pick if your plan is to then recoup a third-round pick 2 years from now that's a later pick to rent a good play. It's just a weird trade to me that I like because I like to be good at football.
It's about winning now. See, what frustrates me sometimes is we get caught up in the year by year. We're trying to win now. You worried about the future.
I'm always worried about the future.
I know, but this team ain't won in 30 years. I get you. But as soon as they don't win now, we're going to be kicking their butt.
Oh, no, I want to win now, too.
There's another year away from the title. So we can't worry about 2 years from now, next year. And it's all about now.
But see, that's the thing. Is that
the shit fall where they made.
If you're going to do it for now, then do it. Like, don't give me the Lamborghini frame and give me the Pinto engine.
Now, first of all,
you know what I'm saying? Like go ahead and give me the whole thing.
No, why I got to give you the whole thing?
We
don't know what this guy gonna do.
I'm not saying no. I'm saying go get the rest of the players. Like don't go win now.
Don't
go semi win now. Really go all in. Go get you a George Pickens. Go get you a.
We balling on. First of all, we balling on the budget. We balling on the budget, man.
That budget is
then
fine.
don't trade for George Pickens if you're not really going
That's
for
what I'm
it.
saying, like,
and if
so
you're going for it, keep your
for
good
it.
players for a long time so you can keep adding. Not
We
this
balling on the
weird
budget, but we
little-
trying to. We winning now. We need a receiver. Y'all said we need a receiver. Y'all said.
And I
it's
said I'm
here.
happy.
He's like Jerry, like here down, Jesse, here down.
He
And I said I'm happy with it.
He did give us a here down, but
Here down.
I'll take some more of those. Give me a few more of those, and then we can talk.
Coming up next, the great and powerful Joe Hoyt of the DLLS podcast had a great write-up on Kaiir Elam, who he talked to yesterday. How he's fitting in and what he's about to do for Dallas. Hit the like button is next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
Have you heard of Mando?
Yep.
Mando is not just something that's made up, not just some guys in the garage that said, let's make a deodorant for men's body for the balls and for the pits.
I'm
and for the
mandoed all
grundle.
weekend in Atlanta, baby. I'm mandoed.
Yo, you Mandoed up in Atlanta? All right, I hear you. But Mando is created by a doctor whose firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. So this is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. I would not recommend you not taking a shower for 72 hours, but in the event you're like Pop and you out in them streets,
dirty.
make sure you, if you out in them ATL streets, make sure you pack that Mando. And if you don't know what Mando product that you want, they got a starter pack for you right now. I can get you $5 off. All you have to do is go to Mando.com, use the promo code DLLS, and get $5 off a starter pack. The deodorant is for men and men specifically. Take care of the Mando, the man parts with Mando.
Where can you put it?
Everywhere. Thank you, Clarence. Coming up next is not a thing I should say because I'm doing a read. Coming up next is me talking about Empire Today. Empire Today Flooring. They're the best. They're our friends, and they're the best. You know, you go to a big box store for your flooring stuff because they got a flooring department, but the guy helping you probably just put together a wheelbarrow, and it took him 17 hours to do it. Like, and then he was like, "Yeah, let me show you the sinks. Go do flooring, people, for your flooring." Okay, our guys at Empire Today are the best in the business. They live and breathe this stuff. They'll be with you every step of the way. Let them bring the showroom right there to your house. Get the right flooring, the right colors for your space. See how it looks with your furniture in your house. They're going to take care of you. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DLLS listeners, you get $350 discount when you use the promo code DLLS. EmpireToday.com/DLLS. All right. What you want to talk about in the chat? We got Joe on the screen, but he can wait.
Hey, Joe, how you doing, boy? You in that car again?
Joe Hoyt is in the
I'm
car.
in that car again, but because you guys were talking about Wendy's, you know, on my way to the Star, I saw a Wendy's. I said, you know what? I'm gonna do a little ad stuff there.
There you go. Get you a Frosty for lunch.
Get you a Pop-Tart strawberry. It was Pop-Tart strawberry, right?
Pop-Tart.
Strawberry Pop-Tart.
Yeah, go ahead and get you one of them.
Yeah, I might have to. Before I talk about Kaiir Elam, Jesse, you once gave me a lot of ish for having the sniffles and kind of, you know, the whole time. I'm telling you, that guy to your right now, he be sniffling.
I've been killing him all morning.
Who's that?
All you sniffles. You scratch and sniff and cough and scratchy throat. No, I've been killing him all morning.
Okay. I just want to make sure that there's fair ish going back.
Hey, Joe, I got a question for you.
What?
Hey, what's up?
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop?
Let's find out. 1,
You don't
2,
know? Okay.
3.
All right, Joe, I got you passed it. You passed the old man test. I just wanted to know.
Congrats.
I
You're old.
appreciate that.
So I saw your article this morning, dropped about an hour ago on alldlls.com. Maybe more. I don't know.
It's blowing up too.
It is blowing up. And it's on the cornerback that the Dallas Cowboys traded for this offseason, Kaiir Elam, who's out there running with the ones. We also have people banged up. But in visiting with Kaiir Elam, what do you know about this fella, how he's doing, how he's fitting in, and the projection for what he can do for this team? Joe!
Yeah, I think Kaiir Elam has been an interesting guy, and it better be interesting because, you know, right here in Dallas, he finally has something he didn't have in Buffalo, and that's an opportunity. If you kind of go back to where he was in Buffalo, you talked to Brandon Beane, the GM there. He admitted right after they traded him, like, hey, we didn't give him a fair shake. Like the fact that we're trading him before his rookie contract is up, that's on me. We're rooting for the world for him because we did not handle that correctly. And that's something Kaiir Elam kind of talked to me about a little bit too and said that that's something they communicated to him. And, you know, when he found out that he got traded to Dallas, he said he wanted to cry because he was so excited just to have the opportunity to finally come in and compete. And that opportunity kind of comes from the fact that they're a little thin right now, a little injured. But if you kind of look at how the Cowboys have been doing things in that secondary right now, he's been the only constant. Deron Bland has moved outside to inside. They've had Israel McQuamu, Andrew Booth, Keemon Hall. The whole time, despite these shuffles, Kaiir Elam has been out there. And not only has he been consistently out there, he's been consistently playing well. He's had a pass breakup every single day of OTAs and minicamp so far. The last 2 minicamp practices, he's had 2 dropped interceptions, which he knows that he has to catch those. But the fact that he's still in the area and making plays on the ball, I still think that that's telling for a guy that couldn't get on the field much in Buffalo. So the other consistent thing about Kaiir Elam right now is Brian Schottenheimer talked about it. They have GPS trackers. Because they're trying to track effort, just like Rod Marinelli, run to the ball, all those things. Kaiir Elam is consistently the number 1 guy on those GPS trackers for miles per hour. So this is a guy that didn't have an opportunity, finally has it, and so far he's consistently making the most of it.
Joe, we talk about opportunity and what the lack thereof that he had in Buffalo. What was the reason behind that? Was it his play? Was it coaching changes? Was it scheme fit? Like what was the reason he wasn't able to get the opportunity that he felt, or they felt, that he needed or deserved to be a player in Buffalo?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I talked to some people in Buffalo too who kind of told me, yeah, realistically, they made a couple scheme changes, and it kind of always felt like Kaiir Elam was always the one kind of left out of it. And if you look at where Kaiir Elam kind of fits in terms of what a scheme fit could be for him, his comp coming out of college was Jalen Johnson, the Bears corner. He's got 30-inch arms. He's 6'1", runs a 4.39, so he's tall, he's fast. He kind of really fits in what Matt Eberflus might want. So he didn't fit in terms of scheme there. And also the other thing too is when you don't have those inconsistent opportunities, it's kind of hard to get your confidence going. And that's something I heard was his confidence was a little bit shot. It's in Buffalo. When he was called upon, he kind of struggled at points. Last year, he was targeted 27 times, gave up 21 catches. That included a pretty, bad performance in the playoff game against the Chiefs when he was called upon after the first quarter to come in. So he's a guy that, I think it just didn't work in Buffalo. That's one thing Brandon Beane talked about. Now he's has the consistency. He's hoping that he has the confidence, and I think he actually has a scheme fit with Matt Eberflus.
Clarence, you have anything for Joe? You want to tear him down in any way, shape, or form?
I do not want to tear Joe down. That's my guy. Kaiir Elam is the son of A.B. Elam, former Cowboy, and obviously, just talking to his dad, they didn't feel the DC and the head coach liked him either, and so that kind of they changed DCs. I think when he got there, and so that was part of the situation. You watched practice. We talked yesterday about the energy in practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Energy pre-practice going through drills was high, right? How was the energy when they went from 7-on-7 to 11-on-11? I saw some jogging.
Oh no, we got loafs.
If you clock that, I didn't clock it.
Saw some jogging.
I think
they're doing them,
I
the
think with
individual
the energy,
drills, a lot of energy. And
there's a ton of energy when they start. It's hard to keep that. Yeah, it's hard to keep that. We talked about that though yesterday. Jesse kind of called that out too. It's like, hey, it's great to have all this energy and stuff like that on minicamp practice day 2, but what's going to happen in week 13, and let alone later on in practice? So I think in terms of energy, honestly, that's something maybe we should ask Brian Schottenheimer is, hey, you want all this energy, you want all this stuff. Are you ever worried about it running out? It's a long season.
And one thing I clocked, I don't know if you saw it, the superstars were always at the back of the group. They do all the energy, even doing early on CD, he the last one. Hey,
welcome to sports.
Yeah.
I don't have to.
Micah,
Exactly.
let me jump on the pile. When you run through the side, and then the
leadership.
superstars jogging in at the end,
Bad leadership.
Joe, I do have a question about the DBs. Like what type of rotation was happening? You talk about Kaiir Elam getting some first team looks, and I know that there's injuries there with Revel being out and Diggs still in the rehab group. What is that rotation looking like? Are you seeing who's inside, who's outside, who's with the first group, with the second group? If the season had to start today, from your perspective, who do you think to be the guys that they march out there?
Yeah, I think it would be tough because right now, like I said, Kaiir Elam is the only constant. Right, he's got an outside corner spot. He's staying there, hasn't moved. Deron Bland's moved inside. He's moved outside. Yesterday was the first time we saw a new alignment in the starting secondary where we had Kaiir Elam outside, Deron Bland outside, and then we had Keemon Hall in the slot, a guy that impressed last preseason. and someone who ended up kind of being on the team for a little bit. But I think that's also just indicative of where they are in terms of health-wise. They've had Israel McQuamu, who's done slot and outside as well. They've had Andrew Booth, who he's not healthy right now. He's not playing. So I think right now it would be very thin. I'll tell you that. Because outside of those guys, too, that I just mentioned, in terms of depth, it's Luke Barku and Troy Pride.
Let's go.
They don't have a lot of depth right now if they had to play today. Obviously, Savone Revel, Clarence talked to Trevon. He's trying to get back as soon as he can. These are guys you can probably count on. The other one we haven't seen emerge back into the secondary yet from just doing his kind of rehab stuff is Donovan Wilson. Still waiting on him. Malik Hooker was back yesterday. So right now that secondary is very thin. One thing before I go to, in terms of observations, you guys might talk about this in segment 4, but Jake Ferguson had a really good day too. I know yesterday we talked a lot about what's the tight end rotation. Jake Ferguson never left with the ones yesterday. He was there the whole time.
Don't read our slack and give our segments away, baby.
No, that's not. Come on with it.
Don't read our slack and give our segments away.
But hey, he had a really good day. I'll leave it there.
Oh, you don't have to leave it there. No, I actually appreciated that when he was talking about their offense, Jake Ferguson was talking about, you can't cover everybody. And it was like CD and George, which in real life is the end of the list. But then he was like, and me. And he said Brevin Spanford and Schoon. The Brevin thing is real, Joe. Brevin Spanford is going to be a thing.
Most talented tight end room that Luna Wells has ever had. That's what Jake Ferguson said.
Oh, okay.
I question that.
Yeah. Watch out. Here they come. It's going to be incredible. All right, Joe, have a great day. And everybody go to our website, alldlls.com. Check out his piece on Kaiir Elam or else, which, of course, is not a threat. You might want to swing back through that drive-thru and go get you a double. They call it a double-double, right? I love those square patties. I like to eat, too.
Double-double. That's
not a double-double.
How about a little son of Baconator?
Wendy's
not a
classic
double-double. That's a different place, though.
I was trying to think of the word.
Oh, okay. I got classic. Remind me I have to show you something about Wendy's.
Okay.
Yeah.
What, Joe?
Son of Baconator and a Pop-Tart Wendy's is what I might just go get.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
And don't forget to get a Frosty, man. It's Frosty. We got Frosty.
Pop-Tart.
That's what the strawberry Pop-Tart.
My bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. You don't listen to me. It's fine.
Go ahead and get rid of Joe. Go ahead.
You want to fight me?
Get rid of Joe. You want to fight?
You don't be listening. Don't be listening.
David, if Diggs has a good year, why would you cut him? Because he's missed games the last 2 years? You
money. Follow
back,
the money,
his
David.
Contract will be moderate for a good corner. You know what? I don't know if I'm all the way in on this take, but the fact that Deron Bland is in a contract year, if Diggs comes back, Diggs is healthy, and Diggs plays well, I absolutely agree with that. Like, Diggs' money did not set the market. He is not a super expensive corner. I could see them keeping Diggs and watching Bland walk if Diggs has a great year. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you. That's all. What are you doing?
Joe knows. Get this kid.
Joe, we
Joe
gonna
knows
fight.
in the super chat. I
Joe,
simply
we gonna
want
fight.
to show Cowboy fans everywhere that for one super chat a day, you too can help Clarence Hill unash his elbows and knuckles.
My knuckles in my
Hashtag cocoa butter
Joe.
for pop pop. Pop pop pop. 1999 close enough. Throw oranges.
Have the peace sign, Dro. Have the peace
Oh,
sign.
you got the stuff.
Have the peace sign. I'm Pop. I'm an old guy. That's wrong, Dro. Dro, you know you're wrong. You're wrong with 2 left shoes.
How you looking today?
I'm fine.
No, today is one of his better.
Whatever. I'm fine.
Today is one of his better moisturized days.
Yeah. Do you use moisturizer?
Somebody like it.
Do you use love?
Somebody like it. Joe, somebody like it. Somebody like it. Start the fire with that ass, okay?
Coming up next.
Well, we're not coming up next. We got 2 minutes.
No, coming up
We got
next.
2 minutes.
Where am I going to go with that? Hashtag cocoa butter for pop pop. Where am I going with that? Coming up next, assorted Cowboys minicamp nuggets and people doing a little hating on this Cowboys offense. It's next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. What you want me to hit him with, John? Looks like you want me to hit him with Vegas. Come with us to Vegas or else, which is not a threat. But you can go to our website, alldlls.com, and along with our friends at True Fan Travel. We are going to Vegas. We're taking a road trip. They play the Raiders on November 17th. We're going to be out there to do our pre and post. You can come with us and party with us in Vegas. 3 nights at a luxury resort, all inclusive.
All inclusive.
I haven't asked Clarence. I don't know.
I'm bringing a Mando.
I'm bringing the rugged road.
There you go. What you bringing?
I need some recovery. I found out in Atlanta.
I'm bringing the Blue Chew.
I can party with the best. The recovery time ain't the same. You know, we might need a week off after Vegas.
You have to really remind yourself, I found at my age,
Recovery
which is a
time.
little younger than yours, just a little bit. I have found that I just have to remind myself in the morning when I'm having my full mental health crisis of a hangover. They're like, hey, this sucks. Was it worth it? I don't know. But the fact that this sucks means you probably had a really good time. And be grateful for the really good time. You know?
Be grateful. We're going to need a week off, though.
And then hammer down a Fireball, get your day going. You know? 2 Miller Lights and Fireball. Get out of the Bud Lights, I guess.
I'll be at the buffet.
I love the buffet.
I'm not even a buffet. I'm not even a buffet guy.
And I was at the pool in Atlanta. I'll be at the pool in Vegas. How about that?
Yeah. AllDLLS.com. Sign up. Also,
my shirt was not off.
Oh, we got to get your shirt off. You don't wear a pool shirt, do you? Are you a pool shirt
I
guy?
had a friend of mine that had his shirt off, and he couldn't. Like, all them extra flaps, man. You look like, you ought to be able to swim with all them extra flaps you got.
Okay. Also, ball knowers want you to go to our merch store and buy everything you could possibly want and then say who is going to win the next NBA Finals game. If you get it right, you will get a gift card
Pacers!
in the amount that you spent on that merch. So go get yourself hooked up at alldlls.com. Become a diehard while you're there. All right, it's the DLLS Cowboys podcast. We do have other assorted nugs, scoops galore. But I also have one thing. There's just one thing. Technically, just one more thing.
Ace Ventura, right?
Yeah. He's got the door. He's like, you wouldn't have heard anything.
Yeah.
So I was I was just, you know how I do. I dong around on the internet. I dong around on the internet. And what I was looking through was on NFL.com, the top 10 offenses for 2025. And so, like, they have on there the top 10 teams from the 2024 regular season based on points per game, blah, 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 blah. So who is it going to be this year? Who's going to be the top 10? And they have Kansas City at number 10, by the way. Which, okay. And well, they were carried by their defense a lot last year. Kansas City 10, Cincinnati 9, Green Bay 8, Philadelphia 7, Denver 6, Detroit 5, Washington 4, Baltimore 3, Tampa 2, Buffalo 1. Top 10 offenses in football for 2025. And what I want to ask the people and y'all.
The peoples.
Are we doing some hating on the Cowboys and why? Because I wanted to go look. I was like, when Dak Prescott plays football, when was the last time they weren't like a top 10 offense? And the answer is they never. So the last 4 of the last 6 years, Dak's been healthy. Andy Dalton year and Cooper Rush year, yeah, they weren't a top 10 offense. NFL ranking in yards for the Cowboys the last 4 healthy Dak seasons. 1, 11, 5. 3 top 5s and 1 was 11th in yards. In points with healthy Dak, 6th, 1st, 4th, 1st. What are we doing? Pretending that the Cowboys aren't going to have a good offense.
I think there's a little concern.
About what?
About your quarterback.
Health?
Health. There is some concern about your quarterback's health. There's still some concern about your quarterback's offensive line.
For sure. A little bit of that. Left tackle.
A little
bit of right tackle.
And you have the addition of George Pickens. You don't know what your running game is going to be. That's still up for grabs. So you think that having the addition of George Pickens and then having CeeDee Lamb, that will account for something. But I think people are because you said 4 out of the last 6 years, 2 of those years, Dak wasn't healthy.
Correct.
And I think people, and I'm not saying me, I'm not saying us, I'm not saying our show.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people? I think people are getting to the point where they may begin to question the quality of health that Dak Prescott will give you through the duration of the season. And that might be something. What am I missing?
No, you were doing great, and it was right when you were finishing a sentence I started laughing because I looked at the chat and I was like, "Damn it, Jesse's gonna be like, what the hell, man?"
Like now you got to talk about
Jeremy said maybe it's the way the light's hitting the elbow.
Yeah,
but it definitely looks
I've been looking at my elbow. It's not ashy, man. It's the light.
And like I'm like, yeah, Jesse, that's a good point. That's a good point. I glanced at the chat. You were,
So
I could hear
I'm
you
over
were
here doing
finishing
this.
your sentence. I'm like, oh, Jesse's gonna be mad because I'm
Man,
laughing.
every time I'm putting these heaters out,
Ain't nothing wrong with the elbow, man. It's on the
get off
table.
the heater.
It's on the table, man. Ain't nothing wrong with the elbow, man. Stop it.
Clarence, are they hating on the Cowboys offense?
They are, and they hating on my elbows. Yes, I think so. I like how you phrased it. Yeah,
He was listening. See,
Yeah, because he opened up.
he was listening. He said, "I like how you phrased it."
Because you opened up, you did a little capital. You was hating on the quarterback. Well, he can't stay healthy. Yeah, they questioned the quarterback.
Well, he said they, not him.
Well, I, mean,
I said
he
they, not
legit-
me.
But you didn't
not
jump
us.
off this table.
But you legitimized it by bringing it up first.
Oh yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, see,
I've already
you
jumped
know what I'm
off.
saying?
I've
So what are we
already
talking
jumped.
about?
I've already
Yeah,
jumped.
you-
I
so
mean, last
right
year,
there.
but last
listen.
year he said,
Jump off if you
"Jump
want
off
to.
if you want
Yeah,
to."
he was just talking about
and
the
I
team.
jumped off.
He
and
was
it
trying
so-
to say
and
right.
So
He was
did his
trying to be
hamstring.
tough. Stop it. Listen,
Hamstring jump right off the
Jump
bone.
right off the bone. He was
Listen,
like, hell, I'm going with Jesse.
listen,
See ya.
listen. I swear to God, everywhere I go, I get in arguments about the quarterback.
You.
Oh, we're
arguments,
aware,
wow.
but it ain't just the quarterback.
But it's mainly about the quarterback. I'm talking about. You know, there are a lot of Cowboys, like Atlanta. There are a lot of diehard Cowboy fans. Love the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Hate the quarterback.
Yeah.
I was at an event last week in Fort Worth. Love the Cowboys. Hate the quarterback. I was at Spud's house. A police officer just
Name
retired.
drop.
Love the Cowboys. Hate the quarterback.
Yeah.
I cannot. It just drives me crazy. There's so many Cowboy fans eat their own. They hate their own quarterback. I mean, it's like, yeah, I love the Cowboys, but he's a loser and he never plays well. The dude was just runner-up MVP.
He was, and he pressured away.
And people just like, that's like no big deal. He never wins big games.
That
What?
was 2 seasons ago, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Well, he was hurt
24
last
months?
year.
Yeah, he was
You
hurt.
know, he never
24 months.
He was also healthy last year to the tune of like 2 and 4.
he never comes through in the clutch.
Well,
And you can
that's
say
a
what you want about Pittsburgh, but that drive against Pittsburgh was amazing. You know, but that wasn't a good team. You know, that don't count.
I only
it's
care
like-
about Green Bay and San Fran.
Yeah,
baby.
I mean, it's crazy to me that
I don't
people
care that he retired
but-
Tom Brady. I don't care about none.
But to your point, when Dak is healthy, they are a top 10 offense. When Dak is healthy, they're a playoff team. They're a playoff contender. So obviously, since everybody wants to project about Rebel and everybody else coming out and being there, we're in the offseason, if Dak is healthy, how can you say this is not a playoff team? How can you say this is not going to be? Because the history has shown us that if Dak is healthy and plays, they're going to be a contender. And now you add in Pickens, which they haven't had in a couple of years, to this offense. There's no question that this offense is going to be explosive as it was a couple of years ago. And just watching
There's
that,
no question.
I don't think there's any question about that.
None.
I mean, clearly,
Stop.
if they're no.
No, he's trying to entertain me.
Clearly, if they're not on the field, then yes, you have a question.
Right.
But if they're on the field, then we can only assume because I know you're saying his health is showing that he's not going to be on the field. But
No, I'm not
there are
saying-
people that believe that even if he's on the field, he's a bad quarterback.
No,
that's
I
not true.
I don't believe that.
So if he's on the field, and there are people that will contend, it's not about the injury for them. It's about that he's like what is Shady call him ass? Okay, he's this, he's that. That's not true. He's not Patrick Mahomes, but he's a top 10 quarterback. He's a top 10. He's a legitimate top 10 quarterback. And when he's on the field and playing, which is what we all are talking about, they're going to be a good offense. They're going to be a team that contends. My issue with the Cowboys is I don't know if they can stop the run.
Yeah, I think they have multiple big questions. Because you're not wrong. You're not wrong that when Dak plays, they generally make the playoffs and have a top 10 offense. Both of those things are true. Both those things, Daddy. But I also do think that this roster is definitely going to be better than it was a year ago. But
Offensively or overall?
Overall.
Okay.
I think it'll be that's hard because so many of the guys were hurt that are gone that I might be factoring that in. But I don't think it's a better roster than we're used to. Like, they had at least an off season where they did add one potentially impact player and some other guys that can help. Whereas last year they didn't do any of that. So I think this roster is better than a year ago.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's as good as 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, the receivers are better than they were 2.
Sure,
3
George Pickens
years.
helps a lot.
Yeah, because
But-
even during Dak's MVP candidate season, the receivers were still bad outside of CD.
Yeah.
CD had an historic season. Yes, they were bad.
What year was that? 2022.
3
Okay.
and 2022.
Well, 2022 they had.
Was Amari still here?
They had 2,000-yard receivers, 1,000-yard running back, and
Don't do that.
900-yard tight end.
Don't do that.
I have questions
Don't do
about
that.
running back.
When you rush for 1,004 yards, it don't count.
Well, that's 1,000.
I know, but over 17 games, come on,
That's how you
over
say the
17
word.
games, it don't
No,
count.
I'm just saying that.
I mean, but those are great stats, but it don't mean you got a good running game.
I was talking about the passing game. I threw that in there.
Well,
But that year they had almost they had 2 guys over 1,000 and a third guy that was close to 1,000.
I know, but people keep bringing up that we had 1,000-yard receiver, 1,000-yard running back, 1,000 defense end with 10 sacks. I mean, it's like, come on, guys. Those are meaningless stats. Now, I want to address one thing. Can you go down?
Uh-oh. Who did it? Somebody said you were in the chat fighting people? Are you on your phone in the chat
Go
fighting
back,
people?
Jeremy. Go back down. Go back up to Jeremy. I'm sorry.
What are you? Oh, God. Sorry, John.
Go back right there.
What?
I'll become a diehard of Chill moisturizer on camera during the show. Is that worth it?
Yes.
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 It absolutely
Do
is.
you have moisturizer with you?
No.
Anybody got moisturizer?
Can we get some in here, please? We got 4 minutes. Jeremy Rich.
Jeremy, I want to see the receipt, Jeremy.
We want to see the receipts. We get some moisturizer
It's
right now.
Ain't nothing wrong with my elbows.
Somebody got it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, Katya and Abby got it.
This one, we got berry blossom. And, shea butter. No, we need this one. We need the shea butter. Let's go get deep into the core right here.
I'll use the berry.
Jeremy,
I need the
Jeremy,
receipt.
here you go. Come on. Add a little shea butter.
You know what?
Go ahead.
Y'all
You need more?
ain't shit.
Woo. Put it on that other elbow.
Y'all ain't.
There you go.
Listen.
You hear that sound?
Do not
Put that
do a
sound.
drop. Do not. I want you not want to see this on social media.
Hold on, get you a little bit more right there. Yeah.
I do not want to see this on Twitter. Okay.
Got bad news for you.
I
Clarence.
do not. We're gonna fight.
I got
You
bad.
need more? Get it in
I got
between them knuckles.
Bad
No, I'm-
news.
Between that thumb. Between that thumb right there.
Jeremy, I want to see it,
Jeremy,
Jeremy.
you be a man of your
Be
word
a man
now.
of your word now.
Be
Don't
a
play.
man of your word.
I'm
Don't
glad.
play.
I'm glad that you saw that, Clarence. The company will appreciate us getting a diehard sign.
For sure.
You know, we're trying to get
There's,
that.
there's not enough baby on the Diddy's couch.
Okay.
So we're gonna fight.
We're not tweeting any of that stuff. Chill, we got like 2.5 minutes for other assorted nuggets for minicamp. You mentioned things about Tyler Booker earlier. We mentioned Jake Ferguson. I feel like you've said positive things about Miles Sanders, wherever you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Booker talked to the media yesterday, asked him if anything surprised him or that he wasn't ready for it. He said, no, I'm prepared. I was prepared. There's nothing that has happened and we've gone through that I wasn't ready for. And you know, he's been
Abby said
Abby
use the blossom to
too.
exfoliate and the shea butter to hydrate. Here we go.
Well, is it too late now?
Nah, you can
Abby?
do the reverse.
You can
do
backwards
the
it?
reverse.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
get you
Reverse.
That berry smells pretty
Blossom
good too.
got some little something in it.
Yeah, it's exfoliating.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna exfoliate.
Yeah, you do.
got some chunks.
Get
I
some of
don't
that
need all
dead,
of
some of that dead
Now I'm
skin
smelling
off.
like cherry blossom. Going to practice smelling like cherry blossom.
Yeah.
All up in the locker room.
You think
Yeah.
you
They
think
gonna be
some of
like-
the players ain't in there smelling sweet?
You know,
But you ain't gonna be ashy.
I wasn't ashy.
Well,
You weren't ashy.
I was.
well,
Thank you, Jeff.
I thought you were looking great, and somebody
I
had a
wasn't
trick of the
glowing.
light, get them to be a diehard.
you weren't glowing.
I weren't glowing, but I wasn't ashy.
But if you had done that too many times,
But
in
I
that
was
wood,
doing this. But I was, I was on the table. Your elbows down the table. My elbows on the table.
and
So-
you have no manners. Elbows on the table.
This is not dinner, sir. It's not a dinner table.
I got a weird elbow. I don't know if you can see it. But
Anyway.
it's a weird shape.
Tyler Booker's great. Guys coming up. I've talked to so many players in the locker room. They're going to be on this show this summer. We're going to get June. We're going to get Shoddy, Deuce Vaughn, Malik
You
Hooker,
can step out for
I'm gonna
Tyler
show.
Smith.
He knows
all of
he knows.
Tyler Smith. All have said they're willing to come on this show, and I got some more coming. But we're gonna get guys on this show during the dead time of June as we get ready. I got phone numbers. I've been.
Will you make and drink a shotty when shotty is on?
We can do a shotty. We're gonna work on that.
All right.
And
I'll do it.
listen,
Well,
I know you.
we
I know
may
you.
have.
That's why I didn't ask you. I didn't know. I didn't ask you for a
And
reason.
really, we may need to do a segment, a segment called a shotty, or calling our shot, or something. Let's do a shotty segment.
Yeah.
Calling our shot, or a shotty, or shot caller.
If you
or whatever
want to
else.
ask a question to Shoddy, you have to take a shot first.
Yes. Or just
So by the end of the show,
we can do
Jesse won't have
what
asked
I'm
the
saying is
question.
we can do
Clarence will be falling over.
Yeah,
we can do a weekly segment during the season. You know,
should.
a shot caller,
We
a
should.
shot segment. Or, you know,
Tad's going
calling
to tell
our
you, yeah,
shot.
you can do that. You pay him $14 million.
Yeah, Jeremy says my credit card is ready. Let's go.
No,
Let's
don't-
go.
show us, baby. We're from
Let's go.
Missouri.
Let's see the receipts.
Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Abby and Katya, thank you for the lotion that helped us to get a diehard out of it. Remember, everybody, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everybody. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingency.
We all silly like the mayor.